Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Windhinges Creek Special Effects Shop post Transworld video. So this one's going to be relatively short. We got home from Transworld yesterday. Drugged the crew and the trailer and the display and stuff all home, and of course all the stuff that we bought. And then tomorrow we're planning on getting the shop cleaned up and getting everything unloaded and getting started on orders and all that. But the reason for this video is a little bit different. I have always been, I don't want to say a recluse or very private about my work. But I've also not really ever been one to just like put myself out there and shoot videos about what I'm doing and all that kind of thing. And because honestly, the main difference between me and the people that you know about are they're willing to put it on YouTube. And up until recently, I hadn't really given it a lot of thought. And not for any particular reason either. But every year at Transworld, I teach a beginning mold making and casting course, and it generally goes over pretty well, and this year was no exception. They actually had to move me out of my normal room and they had to put me in the biggest hall that they had available, and then they had to line chairs down the sides of the walls to accommodate everyone who wanted to come. And after the class was over, I always tell everyone the same thing. It's like, here's my email address, and here's where my booths are. And if you have any further questions, please come by. I'm happy to answer and help you figure out your problems that you've got with your molds and your casts and what have you. And forgive me for not being my usual jovial animated self, but Transworld is kind of a 7-day marathon. It started with what was supposed to be a 12-hour turned out to be an 18-hour drive through a snowstorm to get there, and it makes for a long week. And even the drive home, a perfectly mundane drive home, it takes a lot out of you. I normally kind of take today off completely and just kind of recover and give myself a day. But after my class was over, I had quite a few people come into my booth to ask questions and tell me how much they enjoyed the class, and quite a few of them asked why I didn't have a YouTube channel, and they felt like what I had to say was relevant to what they were doing, and they felt like when they had questions I had good answers, and they felt like I was reasonably thorough in my explanations. And thank you so much for those kind words too. It means a lot to me when I teach a course and people feel like they get something out of it. So the long and short of it is I'm going to start doing YouTube content on the Windhinges Creek channel. Windhinges Creek. This is how we're starting this. This is the first day, and we're already on the Windhinges Creek channel. Freudian slip. And I don't have like a specific schedule I'm going to adhere to. Sometimes it's going to be videos that I just shoot on my phone like this. There's going to be other videos that are going to be edited better, that are shot on better camera with actual microphones, and kind of everything in between. And it'll be a mixture of things that happen here in my shop at home. I have an 11,000 square foot production facility a couple of blocks away from the Hinges shop, and I'll be doing videos there as well. And I may do videos on things like car repairs that I'm doing, repairing musical instruments, tools that I'm learning that I don't really know my way around yet. We can kind of learn together on some of those kinds of things. And I may just do some videos on my methodology and my ethos as far as haunting goes. If ethos is even really the right word for that. But there's a lot of people who are very good haunters, and their methodology is completely different than mine, and they still get very good results. There's nothing wrong with their approach, but I get asked a lot about what is it that I do or that we do or what my crew does that gives us the results that we get. So I'm looking forward to being able to share some of that kind of stuff. And the main reason is because haunted houses and haunting and Halloween and dark art and all of those kinds of things, we don't own that. We are stewards of it, but at some point we'll be gone. And people talk about how much they love this industry, but loving something means you have to find ways to love the parts of it that you hate, but most importantly, that we have an obligation to it. And our obligation is to grab the highest bar that we can when we start, and then do everything we can to push that bar as high as we can for as long as we can, for as long as we're either working or still alive. For me, it'll probably be still alive. I don't know that I'm ever going to get to really retire from what I do. But at the end of all of this, at some point in this timeline of existence that we're all sharing, for whatever reason, I'll have raised the bar as high as I can. And it's going to be dependent on the next generation of people behind this one to carry that bar and take it even higher. And really the only legacy that we can leave is how high we push that bar, and not be so myopic to think that we've somehow mastered it, we've got it all figured out, and this is all that there's ever going to be. I mean, we're just a chunk of time kind of in the middle. So I don't want to dive too terribly far off into any of that, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of video content out there, and truthfully, I'm probably not even going to enable comments. I don't need the negativity of people that disagree. I figure the ones that like my videos or agree or feel like they're getting something out of it are just going to subscribe and watch. And the ones that don't. It doesn't bother me a bit. I have absolute confidence and faith in my abilities and what I do and what my approach is. And honestly, I can't express how little interest I have in people thinking that I'm wrong. I mean, I don't care. My methods have yielded good results for me. If there's anything that I do in particular, feel free to shoot me an email and let me know if there's something in particular that you would like to see a video on, and I'll see if I can't work that in somewhere. But we're going to be talking a lot about haunted houses and, like I said, musical instruments. And I do a lot of work. I collect vintage funeral cars. Kind of gotten super into Jeeps. Recently, I have gotten into machining. And boy, and when I say I've gotten into machining, I mean, I've gotten into it just this far. I have a mini mill and a mini lathe. And for any real machinist out there, to put this a different way, it would kind of be like going to Walmart and buying your first act electric guitar and amplifier off the wall, or if you're a haunt makeup artist, going and buying your first bubble pack grease paint kit. I mean, that's kind of the level of machining that I'm at, and I have so much more to learn. We've just recently bought a 3D printer and a laser etcher, and we're going to be playing with those soon. And over the next handful of months, we have the biggest haunted house build we have ever attempted. ever. After 49 years at the old location, we're starting year 50 outright, and we have 3 complete attractions to build. So we'll be documenting that and shooting little videos and all that kind of stuff. So tune in when you can, and I'll try to keep things moving along and keep them interesting. And a very serious thank you to everyone who has kind of pushed me to do this, and finally, I guess, put myself out there. We have always kind of just operated on the fringes of this industry, and despite that, we managed to we won an award from the Haunted Attraction Association at this last Trans World, which is not something we pursued or lobbied or even knew anything about. And despite our best attempts to kind of just stay off the radio or stay off the radar and kind of stay hidden, here we are. So thank you, everybody. Stay tuned.